What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to brighten up the place. Let's get into this podversation. Listen, I wanted to talk again about this Tyrese and djenvy back and forth situation and the confrontation that I already talked about here. If you did not check that, I'll put a link to that one in the description box. But I discussed it. And as I said, it's not that I care for either of these people personally. I don't really care for either of them. And of course, I don't know any of them personally, but I'm just basically basing my judgment off of a number of things that I have read about, heard about, actual factuals, not rumors. So when it comes to djenvy, I don't care for him. When it comes to how he's conducted business and he's trying to dismiss himself from a situation that I feel he was heavily involved with, when it comes to his partner, Cesar Pena, and all of the litigation that's coming for his neck, for all of the people who felt like they got scammed out of money for these real estate deals, because people like him get on my nerves when they use their platform and their status to really take advantage of people, although they're not going to say they are taking advantage of people, but I'm going to just make this real quick. They use their platform and their status to market to people that they know are going to feel like, oh, if I do this or if I work with this person, then I'm going to be somehow connected to them. Because a lot of people, they want to be connected to these people. And it's not so much that they have confidence that these people know what they're doing in business, but they feel that this is an opportunity for them and people want to make more money. So when you are profiting off of a certain community, because let's be clear, it was Black people and probably Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, mainly. I highly doubt there were hardly any Caucasians. If there were, it might have been a speckle of a few. To do that, is too many people like him that are doing stuff like this and taking advantage of these communities that really don't have much. And then when it comes down to time to be held accountable and responsible, you ain't want to have nothing to do with it. But yet you were showcasing you living this lavish lifestyle off of real estate. And so what was it really? And then Tyrese, with how he has dragged his ex-wife all over social media and the stuff with the court situation, not wanting to pay the money that the court ordered him to pay, and then wanting everybody else to do a prayer vigil, prayer march to protest against the judge that ruled against him in court for him to have to pay the stuff they had to pay. But even with those things being said, I can say what I feel is right and is wrong when it comes to a person that I don't really care for. And in this situation, if I had to pick a side, would go with Tyrese, because I felt that what djenvy did by taking that opportunity where it was Tyrese coming on there for an interview, this is business. So coming on there for an interview and him taking that opportunity to air his personal grievances to Tyrese on this open forum, it wasn't any of our business. None of us should even have known anything about that stuff. So djenvy chose to use this platform to bring it to the public, and none of us should have known about it. And now Tyrese is responding after the fact. And listen, some people can say, well, if he was so traumatized or if he has so many issues with his mental health, then why is he coming out and saying these things now? But I'm going to just go ahead and play what he had to say, and then I'm going to discuss that further.
Down all your kids' names. So I don't give a fuck who you are, what it is. When it comes to my wife and my family, I don't play no games. You goofy. No one has disrespected your wife and your family more than you. You know the most dangerous thing about me? Is I know what I know about the level you took it to. I'll leave it at that. So, you know why your wife called into the airwaves, bro? Because you got exposed in your living room. When I said, how convenient, you could not sit there and look me as a man in my eyes and tell me with real honesty and integrity why my divorce has been a mockery and a funny joke and a topic of discussion at the Breakfast Club. You and Charlemagne talking about mental health awareness. Are we going to be advocates for mental health awareness, or are we out here trying to f people mental health up because you're giving out donkeys of the day? You know why your wife called into the airwaves, bro?
Now, that was Tyrese responding to what djenvy said. And listen, I may not agree with... I can't tell somebody who is hurt how to feel. I can say I may not agree with it, but I can't tell this person how to feel, right? And I hope that he would not resort to violence. But what djenvy said to him, it was basically saying, look, I should have done this. That definitely was something that was triggering. And listen, I don't agree with him being out on social media exposing his ex-wife or just constantly coming for her. But clearly this man he is disturbed and has mental issues. I didn't know anything about him being on psych medication. So honestly, hearing that has softened my stance on him a tad. Not 100% when it comes to how he's been coming for his ex-wife and all the stuff with the courts and all that drama, because you need to just take care of your business. Pay the money that's due. If you feel that you're not making that type of money anymore, request an adjustment. They go on it based off of what your income is. So he clearly is not struggling. He may not want to pay that much money, but just do what you're supposed to do. But just consistently coming out on social media and doing these live videos or pre-recorded, whatever they are, talking about the ex-wife is just not the place for it. It could be comical to us and definitely content for the content creators, but yet and still, like I said in my conversation previously, and I'm going to reiterate it, this is what he needs to be speaking to a therapist about, not to social media about. And unfortunately, with social media being there at the click of a button, you just getting on your phone, hopping on your phone and doing a live video, and people are going to hop in there, then you're getting the attention and you're getting to voice your grievances, but yet and still, that's not going to solve the issue. But I do agree with what he said about him and Charlemagne being on the Breakfast Club talking about mental health. It's a bit hypocritical, like, especially when djenvy said about boxing Tyrese in the mouth, but you was on those psych medications. Like, first of all, you're exposing this dude's health status to basically, because I think sometimes people forget that when you state mental health, it is dealing with a body part, your brain. And how asinine is it that we in this country do not pay attention to the brain health like we should? And then when someone goes to seek a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, people want to call them crazy. And that's just not cool. You know, I just have to say that when it comes to what Tyrese said about djenvy and his wife, no one has disrespected his wife more than he has. You got to be clear about that. He was unfaithful to his own wife. That is the greatest disrespect when it's coming from the person that you made vows to, commitment to, and this is what they do to you. So to come across, yeah, you're supposed to defend your wife and their honor, so to speak, but when you have that stain there, you can't expect that people are not going to bring that up. So Tyrese definitely made a good comment and a good point when it came to that.
our lowest point, and I cheated. Tyrese came in and really helped us and guided us through our relationship, correct?
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
And then we got to a point where we stopped talking to Tyrese. I even blocked Tyrese, and I wanted to box his mouth, as I said the other day. And can you explain to the people why we stopped talking to Tyrese?
Well, we stopped talking to Tyrese on two different occasions. Once many, many years ago, when he did do that amazing thing for us. He and I became friends, and we were very, very cool, and we spoke often. But for me, it got to a point where it became inappropriate and uncomfortable, where I felt as though lines were being crossed. You know, there was times where I felt like he was extremely demanding of my time and of my attention, where if I didn't give him
our lowest point.
So basically, you heard that, and she was saying that he became demanding and whatnot. But my question is, why was Tyrese like a low-key marriage counselor or therapist for the two of them? Because that's not something that he was even qualified to do. Yeah, somebody could give you their opinion or give you their advice, and you can choose to accept it or reject it. But when he says that, you know, I cheated on my wife and Tyrese came in as like a mediator, what qualifications did he have to do that? And so people can only go as far as you allow them to go. I don't believe that Tyrese was doing anything that was not being allowed to do. And then all of a sudden it just got to the point where it's like, okay, enough is enough. And you have the right to say stop when you want to, if it comes to someone always reaching out to you, communicating with you, calling you at all hours of the day or night, or texting, whatever it was. I don't really know. They did not go into any specifics or details for us to know exactly what it is. But now they've got Tyrese turned. They got him turned up. And it's not even funny. It's really sad when you think about it. But even with the psych meds, the mental health issues and struggles, that does not take away a person's character. And obviously, from what it sounds like, Tyrese sounds like someone that honestly has a big ego, may have some narcissistic tendencies wrapped up in there as well. I don't know. I'm just saying what I believe. It's my personal opinion. So, of course, I am not diagnosing him, and I definitely have not spoken to anyone else who has. But he was embarrassed. Like I stated before, I felt like he was ambushed, and I feel that he feels he was ambushed. You know what I mean? So you can't treat someone a certain way and then tell them how to feel. So in my opinion, just being beautifully honest, I feel like djenvy brought this upon himself. He let this cat out of this bag, and this cat has come out scratching and clawing and, is, how the cats do. They're on their paws and then they have their backs arched up like they're ready to pounce. That's Tyrese right now. Now, I'm not calling Tyrese a pussy. I'm just kidding. I just had to try to put a little bit of humor in there. But you get my drift. djenvy, it just sounds like he makes a lot of horrible decisions. He made a horrible decision cheating on his wife. He made a horrible decision connecting with that Cesar Pena guy and promoting a business. And now they've got all that drama going on with that litigation, and he's trying to get himself absolved of the matter. And now he chose to take a personal situation between his wife, and Tyrese, and put it out there on Front Street for all of the listeners to hear about, and ambush Tyrese, where he felt so surprised and shocked that he had no idea that it was even going to go there, because he's thinking, I'm on here to do an interview, talk about what I got going on in my career right now, new projects coming out. That's what most people like Tyrese come on The Breakfast Club to do. They're not coming on there to be ambushed. They're not coming on there to be confronted by the host of the show. So in my personal opinion, I feel like DJ Envy was extremely unprofessional. I don't believe it was professional at all. And if I were Tyrese, I wouldn't try to physically do anything to him. I would connect with iHeartRadio and put in a formal complaint about his professional behavior. Because in that sense, he was hosting the show. It wasn't like the show was off of the air and somebody was just sitting there with the iPhone on and running a live or recording it, and then it got posted to social media and people saw it and found out about it. This was Tyrese's moment to be on there as a professional. And that was highly inappropriate. So in this instance, I'm speaking myself as a business owner. I could never do anything like that, to confront a client who's coming to the business about a personal situation or matter and doing it in front of it. Like, that's not proper. It's very inappropriate. If there were an issue, I would let the person know, look, we'll talk about this another time. You know what I mean? That was not the place for it. It was extremely inappropriate. Now, listen, iHeartRadio may not care because it may have gotten them more viewers. So for them, the views equal money. But I'm just saying, if I were Tyrese, I would file a formal complaint. You never know where it can go unless you try. But I want to read a comment from the Neighborhood Talk, Tammy Roman. You know her from Basketball Wives, The Real World, if you go back that far like I do. But anyway, she said, here's the problem. Tyrese expressed that he was going through a rough time. This caused him to be on medication to deal with his depression. Now being on said medication clouded his judgment, but within that, social media started calling him a joke, making him a laughingstock and memeing his actions, all of which he viewed as disrespect, which further pushed him into a breakdown. He took some time away, tried to heal, and then wanted to bring light for his behavior by doing the Breakfast Club interview, only to be met with another viral moment of disrespect. Quote, not quote, but parentheses, box you in the mouth. This is a trauma trigger for him. I'm not agreeing with his approach, but we're witnessing a person who admittedly has issues with emotional stress disorder. Sometimes it can be difficult to manage your triggers. Now, I can say I agree with Tammy with that, and being someone who is the spouse of someone who has been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, I can't say that I disagree with Tammy when it comes to the triggers. And it can be hard sometimes because, listen, I'm not saying that DJ Envy didn't have the right to feel how he was feeling, but it's how he handled the feeling when he saw the man, Tyrese. And that wasn't the way to handle it. And sometimes it may not seem fair, especially when you're dealing with someone who definitely is dealing with mental health disorders, mental health issues, and mental health struggles, that you have to edit how you would react or pull back on what you may say and different things like that, because it could be a trigger for that person. It definitely is not easy. I understand that. So I understand where Tammy is coming from. If he has issues dealing with disorders and mental health issues, I know how it is dealing with someone with PTSD, and it is not easy. It's honestly sometimes very, very hard when you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Not so much that it's a tense situation in the household, but you could just be having a bad day yourself and you just want to react or act out because of situations that are going on that have nothing to do with that person, but you don't want to stress them out. So you may choose to not share some things or hold back on some things because you don't want those things to be a trigger for this person. And it's hard. It isn't easy. But again, DJ Envy choosing to bring that personal situation to a public platform and forum in the way that he did was absolutely inappropriate. And I don't have any sympathy for him or his wife in that regard. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thanks for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.